Hey guys, and welcome to this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to be talking about bronzers. In the past couple of months, a lot of brands have been releasing gorgeous bronzers. So I wanted to come here and do like a bronzer roundup because it is summer, well, not literally, but summer is so close. And you can see that I'm very pale. So we're going to be trying everything today on my face. I want to show you also side-by-side swatches, and I had the time to test the bronzers properly. So I'm going to tell you more about how they perform, about the longevity, about what you can expect so that you can find the best bronzer for yourself. Let's go ahead and get started. If you're new here and you love luxury beauty, please be sure to subscribe. I would love to have you here. If you're returning, welcome back, dear friends. Let me know what is your favorite bronzer out of all of the bronzers that I'm going to show you today. So these are all of the bronzers that I'm going to be showing you today. So we have the new Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, and this one is in Fair, which is more cool toned. It's more like a contour. You're going to see it on my face in a few minutes. Then we have the new Oversized Chanel Healthy Glow powder. This one is in Sunlight Light. Then we have the new Chanel Cream Bronzer. We have the two new Guerlain bronzers. Then we have one of my favorite bronzers. This is the Gel Formula Bronzer from Sisley. And we have a couple of Dior bronzers. This one is 03 and this one is 04. And I also wanted to show you the Bronzy Cc Serum. This one is the Bronzy Cc Serum. It doesn't work for my skin tone, and this one is a little bit old, so I'm not going to be using it on my face today. I'm only going to swatch it on my arm. And then I wanted to show you also the Shantakai Gel Bronzer, which is one of my favorite bronzers. However, this one is a little bit old as well, so I only keep it for demonstration purposes and to swatch it for you, but I'm not going to be using it on my face. Starting with the Charlotte Tilbury Cream Bronzer and the Chanel Cream Bronzer, I just want to show you close-ups. I have a full review of these two bronzers, and you can see them side by side on my face if you want to. So you can see that the Charlotte Tilbury has more grayish color. The Chanel Cream Bronzer definitely feels a lot more creamy, a lot more emollient, whereas the Charlotte Tilbury Bronzer definitely feels more thick and a little bit more dry, but still it looks very beautiful on the face. Now I'm going to go ahead and swatch those two side by side. And of course, after that, I'm going to show you how everything looks on my face. Moving on to the Chanel bronzer, this one, Oversized Bronzer. This one is my favorite. It is the Healthy Glow Oversized Bronzer. We have a little bit of sunlight that's coming from the window right now. Here we have the Chanel bronzer in Sunlight Light, and as you can see, it looks a little bit orangey on my swatch, but I have to tell you that this is my current favorite bronzer. I use it every single day. It just looks so beautiful on my cheeks. I love it. Next, we're moving on to the two Guerlain bronzers. So as you can see, this one has a combination of different colors. Now, when I swatch it, you're going to see that it looks a little bit orangey. However, it looks beautiful on my face. And in case you're interested to see all other colors from the Guerlain bronzers from this new summer collection, I'm going to link to a video. I have swatches, really high quality swatches in natural light of all Guerlain bronzers from this collection. And now let's go ahead and try also the Guerlain Blooming Bee bronzer. So here are the side-by-side swatches, and you can probably see that the Blooming Bee bronzer definitely has a little bit more reddish color. Let me give you a really good close-up. Next, I want to swatch two of my favorite Dior bronzers. I use these a lot and I love them. So this is 03, which is a little bit more reddish, and this one is 04, which is a little bit more cool toned. Let's go ahead and swatch them. So my index finger is 03 and then my middle finger is 04. And let me go ahead and show you the swatches. I prefer 04. This is the one that I use more, and you can probably see that it's literally used so much. It doesn't have any of the Dior patterns anymore. Let me go ahead and give you a good close-up. Next, I want to show you the Sisley Bronzer, and this one is the Sun Glow Bronzing Gel Powder. This one really is like a gel to powder formula. The color is quite intense, so I have to be very light-handed when I'm applying this one because it tends to look dark on my skin if I use too much. You're going to see actually that it is almost like a luminous bronzer. I really like this one, however, I have to be careful when I'm applying it. You can see that it catches the light beautifully. This one is not matte. It has luminosity, but it doesn't have shimmery particles. And then finally, I wanted to show you the Terracotta Cc Serum. This one is the Bronze Serum and the Shantakai Radiance Gel Bronzer. Now, the Shantakai Radiance Gel Bronzer is one of my all-time favorite bronzers. It looks beautiful on the face. It smells like roses. Both of these actually smell like roses, and both of them have some rose extracts. They are very nice. The By Terry one doesn't work for my skin tone. It just does not work. I've tried using it, but apparently this is not the color that works for my skin tone, whereas the Shantakai Gel Bronzer, it works for my skin tone very well. And I can use it all over the face or just to sculpt my face. It blends beautifully, doesn't emphasize pores, fine lines. This is one of the best bronzers out there, and I believe that this is one of the unique Shantakai products. So I just wanted to squeeze out. So this is the By Terry bronzer. You can see that it's quite liquidy. This is actually a CC, one of their CC products. It just, for some reason, it just didn't work on my skin tone, but it's so beautiful. I wish it would work for my skin tone. And here we have the Shantakai Gel Bronzer. Now I use only a touch of this bronzer. I believe that it's going to work for all skin tones. Now I must say that I love all of these bronzers. Each of them is so beautiful. The only one that doesn't work for me is this CC Serum from By Terry. But it's a CC serum, it's not meant to be a bronzer. I suppose that it's okay that it doesn't work for my skin tone. I just was hoping that I was going to be able to use it as a bronzer, but I was not able to do it. So I love all of these bronzers, and now let's go ahead and see how they look on my face. Okay, so now that you've seen all of the swatches on my arm and you know a little bit more about the consistency of the bronzers, I want to go ahead and show you how they look on my face so that you can have an idea also how they look on the face, not only on swatches. Now, if you want to see the Chanel bronzer, the new Chanel bronzer versus the Charlotte Tilbury, I have a dedicated video where you can see the two bronzers side by side. In case you are wondering between these two bronzers, you can see me wearing these two bronzers and you can see my full review of the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. So this one is more like a contour, whereas the Chanel really gives you this healthy glow, kind of a bronzed look, because the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer in Fair, in the shade Fair, is more like a cool toned and it has a little bit more grayish colors, so it's excellent for contour. I want to go ahead and start and apply now on this side of my face. I'm going to apply the new Chanel cream bronzer, and then on this side of my face I'm going to apply the Oversized Healthy Glow Powder, which I have the shade Sunlight Light. I was planning to get also the medium one, but I'm not going to be able to go on vacation this summer, so it's going to be too dark for me. Now I like to take the bronzer on the back of my hand first, and this is my favorite brush for cream bronzer. It's no Refra. I'm going to link all of my brushes in the description box below. And sometimes I like to layer the Chanel cream bronzer and the Oversized Healthy Glow. Okay, you can see immediately that it gives me a very healthy looking complexion. I like to apply it sometimes even without wearing foundation, just a little bit of the bronzer makes me feel so much better. So that's usually the amount that I'm going to apply on a daily basis. Now on the other side, my favorite Chanel Oversized powder. I absolutely love this one. Sometimes I like to layer them actually. Now the difference here is that I think that probably you don't need both. Let's go ahead and see actually when I apply it. So you can get the same amount of color. As you can see, this one is Sunlight Light, and it gives me exactly the same amount of color as the cream bronzer. If you want to have a more blurred, kind of a matte effect, it somehow blurs my pores immediately. It gives a more velvety finish, whereas this one, you can see this side is glowy. So it all depends on what you like and what you are expecting from your makeup. How you want your makeup to look. But you can see that on the side where I applied the Oversized Healthy Glow powder, this side is almost velvety, and it does look velvety even in real life. It's not like a flat matte, but it does give this velvety effect, whereas the cream bronzer, it gives a nice healthy glow to my skin. My skin is still glowy. Now I'm going to clean the bronzers and I'm going to be back. Okay, now I'm moving on to the two Guerlain bronzers, and this one, as you can see, the body of the bee has a little bit of blush. So if you're using a very small brush, you can actually take a little bit of that blush, and this is exactly what I'm going to try and do now. So I'm applying the Blooming Bee bronzer on this side, and with a very small brush, I'm just going to try and focus the brush here on the body of the bee. But in general, like when I'm in a hurry, I usually would just swirl the brush and use the color together. But I just want to show you, in case you are committed and in case you want to, this is, you can get also a little bit of the blush. Okay, so it's already visible in real life. I'm not sure if on camera it's going to be very visible right now, but it's visible that it gives me just a little bit of a rosy color on my cheek. And then I'm just going to go ahead, swirl the brush. You can see that it's powdery, the consistency. Immediately when I swirl the brush, the consistency is quite powdery. I'm going to take it on the back of my hand and then just apply it here. So the Blooming Bee bronzer is a little bit more reddish. And then on the other side, I'm going to apply the Terracotta Bronzer. So again, when I dip the brush, you can see that I get plenty of product. It's a little bit powdery, but it looks incredibly natural on the face. So on the swatch, it does look a little bit orangey sometimes, but then when I apply it on my face, it just looks very, very beautiful. And now again, I'm going to clean and I'm going to be back for the other bronzers. Okay, now moving on to Sisley and Dior. I'm going to apply the Sisley bronzer on this side of my face, and then the Dior Soft Bronze 03 on this side of my face, because I want to keep the Dior 04. It's more cool toned bronzer, and I want to keep it, and I want to do one more swatch and show you this bronzer versus the Charlotte Tilbury cream bronzer, because this is the most cool toned bronzer that I have, I believe. So I cleaned my brush in a towel, and I'm going to go ahead and dip into this one. This one is a gel bronzer, so it has a different consistency, and it is more like the Shantakai Gel Bronzers in the gel powder formula. So I have to be very light-handed with this one because the color is quite intense and you can see that I'm getting the color right away, immediately. So with this one, I definitely have to be very, very light-handed. And you can probably see that immediately I applied too much. I just haven't used it in a while, and I forgot that I have to be light-handed with this one because it is a little bit deeper for my skin tone, and I definitely need to be light-handed when I'm applying it. So now moving on to Dior, this one is 03 Soft Bronze. And this one has like a velvety texture. Again, one of my favorite bronzers, a very, very beautiful product from Dior. Now Charlotte Tilbury versus Dior Tan Bronze in 04. As you can see, Charlotte Tilbury is still cooler compared to the Dior bronzer in 04. But still, let's go ahead and try that. And then Dior. Okay, so this is the effect, and you can probably see that I applied it way too high, but anyways. The whole idea is for you to just see the color. Again, Dior bronzers give this kind of a very soft, velvety, soft focus effect on the skin. Okay guys, so these were all of the bronzers that I wanted to swatch for you, and I have to say that I like all of these bronzers, and I feel confident to say that each of these bronzers I could call it my favorite because I really enjoy using them all. Probably if I had to rank them for myself personally, I would go for Chanel. The two Chanel bronzers are my favorite. I love both the cream bronzer and the Oversized Healthy Glow powders, and these are the two that I use most often. But keep in mind that I'm a huge Chanel lover, so this probably affects my decision somehow. I love Chanel, it's my favorite brand. And then I really like the new Guerlain bronzers. The two bronzers are absolutely stunning. And then my other favorite is definitely the Dior. This one that I'm wearing here right now. This is one that I use all the time, non-stop. So these are probably, if I had to choose, these were going to be my most favorite bronzers. So that was all for today's video. Please don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you here. Also follow me on Instagram, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care. Bye.